want to say hi to everybody?
Hi. This is the floor we're going to take up today. It has a seal under it.
Yep, this is the upstairs landing floor, and it was supposed to have been done when I remodeled the upstairs before he was born. So that carpet's been rolled up there for... How old are you now, buddy?
What?
How old are you?
5.
Yeah, 5 whole years now. So, the UV light on it, I'm just hoping it's still okay. And I've avoided it, just because, you know, it's out of sight, out of mind. But this is the fun of these old farmhouses. And the original thought was just to sheet over the top of this with some 1/2-inch plywood, screw it down, carpet it, and be on our way. But the squeaks are so bad. They just groan and pop. And you can see this Machine Gun Kelly drywall screw line here. Zero effect. So what I've got are rafters moving against each other. So we pull up this board, cut an access window years ago right there, an access window years ago right there, and I pull up this board and I'm greeted with so much more crap than I expected. Oh. That is Libby vermiculite with an asbestos content. So we're going to very carefully suck that up without any sort of disturbance at all down there. These massive, shattered, full 1-inch by 12 boards. Look at these cribbed and joined rafters. Here's a splice right there. Look at this mess. There's a rafter, a full dimension 2x4, another rafter, and then another spliced 2x4 under that trim. Back in here, they must have brought power in at one point. So this is essentially cut in two. Look at the shims in an attempt to level this. There, in this floor is maybe 5.5, 6 feet wide, this landing, and there is a full inch and a half drop in 5.5 feet in this corner, and by the time you get to that corner, it's just 1-inch drop. So that's what we're unraveling today. Didn't expect to see, there's not much of that Libby vermiculite, but I didn't expect to see that. So somebody's going to have to go away and Daddy's going to have to vacuum really carefully. Huh, bud?
Yep.
Yeah. Old farmhouses. What are you going to do? Here we go. We've taken 4 boards out, 3 boards out, and I vacuumed it up underneath of there. Now, just a 1/4-inch layer of topsoil in here shows me that there's quite a bit of air leaks, but we knew that. And most of those air leaks have since been sealed as part of the various remodels around the place. But I mean, this house was put here 1910, I think. We found newspapers in the walls on this part of the addition from 1916, World War I. But you can hear. But we got such stacked layers of junk. This is sawmill kerf, just waste that's in there as a spacer. There is a flagging stick there, used as a spacer. I've already talked about how the whole thing slopes downhill. And then look at the condition of that. See, this is where they used to bring power into the house long before I owned it, and they basically cut that thing almost in half. And it's rotten to boot, so I'd say that it was leaking for a bit of time somewhere in its lifespan. So my thought is to pull these back and do them 4 feet at a time. And then cut and lay. Hey buddy, please. Cut and lay 3/4-inch plywood. Having pulled it apart this far, I do not know what those little cripple stud. I have no idea what's going on there, and that's all hand chopped with axes. So they relieved it to do something. And there's another one here, and it's got weight on it, which has forced it to kick up. You know, I'm not even entirely sure what all these sit on, so I might have to pull a little bit more if you were going for perfectly square and perfectly level, I mean, you might as well just shoot yourself in the head right now. I mean, I remember from when I was cutting these sheetrocks, it was all trapezoid because none of this crap was level and straight. And maybe the house sank at some point, but that some point was 80 years and 4 remodels ago. So there ain't nothing can be done about it now. As far as structural condition, I'm inclined to go with the whole, it's held this long. The floor doesn't bounce. So I think that structurally we're probably still okay. But I also think that squealing is these various little cripples sliding past each other. So one of the things I was thinking of is pulling it all the way to the end and then laying in, you know, new 2x6s, double all of these, and then level the 2x6s to each other across the floor, so that the new floor would lay on the 2x6s. They would be glued and screwed to whatever is left here, giving them support, and everybody goes on with their lives. That's what I'm thinking of right now. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you get when you tear into old farmhouses. Well, here we've got about 6 feet peeled back, and it gives you a much better look at what we're dealing with. So this is the top floor. You hear? And I think it's those cripplers on the side that are doing the squeaking, and I'm hoping that I can lag bolt through. Found a bit of the original knob and tube wiring up inside here. I didn't know that was there. I assume it goes to or used to go to an old light. I haven't checked to see whether they're hot yet. So this is what my ceiling is made of. That's why these houses are so, you know, even though they're built so bad, they never fall down. Look at those boards. My goodness. 12-inch. And this is that's the light in the hallway. So I have a full dimension, a 1x12 up here. And then on top of that is that, it's like a cardboard, pressed cardboard, about 3/8 of an inch thick. It's what they used to use before sheetrock. And then on the other side of that, of course, is the sheetrock going into the hallway inside. I can feel the heat coming out of here. So I know I've got heat loss flowing up through here, and I suspect it's right back there. I think it rolls all the way underneath this floor and comes up. So that'll be good to get that sorted out. I've also discovered that these boards go underneath where I put my sheetrock up, about 5 inches, which should hopefully allow me to take my, my 3/4 inch plywood and slip them underneath, because I was not looking forward to trying to, cut them as a trapezoid. And I mean, it's hard enough with sheetrock, but I mean, dang, to do it with 3/4 ply. So that's good to know. I'll get this trim. Hey, please don't do that, bud. Stay back from the edge. Back. Get this trim board out of here, and then I'll just run the plywood out to the edge. And it was always going to have it wrapped with carpet, so I might bullnose, those outer ends. But it means that I can cut them, more or less right. I only have to fight this first one in, and then once I get that right there square, then I got about 4 more that I can get in with no problems. And then obviously I'll have to keyhole this one in here, and that's the furnace. It's the only cold air return upstairs, but hey, it's really hard to retrofit forced air system into an old farmhouse. I was pleased that I even got one upstairs. So that's where we stand, with no guardrail for tonight, and probably tomorrow, buddy boy, so you have to be careful. Get the rest of these tinder dry pieces peeled up probably tomorrow, and then I still have to decide, am I going to go to the store and buy you know, 4 2x6s, and then shoot them all the way across. Put a third crippler in there. I mean, look at this mess. I mean, I don't even know why it's here. It's cut 2 right there, and there's filler pieces in there. I have no idea why they're even here. I mean, this could have maybe had a, who knows. I've always wondered if this was a building that was moved in here and then tied into the old house and then remodeled out from underneath of it. You know, the house is 100 years old, so it's so hard to try to figure out what was done back in the day. And I've got enough good farm soil out of here. Look, I could start a garden. But none of it was fresh, so that was just back when, you know, it had rock wool and newspaper for insulation. So the airflow would, every time they plowed the fields around the home, the crap would get in. And some mice droppings, but it all looked pretty old, so I think it's pretty well sealed now. Having fun?
Uh-huh.
Good.